All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our morning note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thanks again for stopping by this morning. Happy Monday, September 13th, 2021. Let's talk about the market, shall we? Before we begin, make sure to click bottom right-hand corner of your screen, little white logo there. Click on that, turn on notifications, like our videos, subscribe to our channel. We really do appreciate it as always. Let me get a little more light in here. All right, there we go. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so let's talk about it. Dow futures up 212 points. NASDAQ up 0.63%. S&P futures 4478, up 0.66%. Russell 2000 up 0.75%, 2239. Crude oil futures at $70 a barrel, up 1.29%. 10-year yields down 1.32% is where they are currently. 92.76 on the dollar index. The VIX getting smashed this morning, 1898, down 9.4%. Gold futures are down 0.20% at 1788 an ounce. Silver futures are down 2%, 2342. The dollar being up is hurting precious metals. Euro dollar down 28 pips, 117.84. 110.04 for the dollar yen, up 12 pips for my forex people. For crypto, 3,223 for Ethereum futures, down about 1%. 44,685 for Bitcoin futures currently. The big winner on crypto was Tezos this week. That's what I was looking at. I do own some. So again, if you want to see exactly what I own, here you go on crypto. Feel free to take a look. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Tezos, Ripple, Stellar, Polygon, and SushiSwap. That's what I got right now. I do buy Tezos every week. Not a huge amount, but I do dollar cost average on it. So good morning, everybody. All right, let's take a look at some charts here. Last week was very, very tough. But again, brand new week. We start fresh, clean the slate. Let's see what we got this morning. I got some AMC calls that I rolled over last week. I have some DraftKings that I still have. And I also have some unusual options activity on CCJ. So let's take a look at it. DraftKings, yesterday, NFL season, full Sunday slate. I did read that Kathy Wood did buy some more DraftKings. Let's see how they open up. I have the 65 calls. First level to break is the 50-day moving average. On AMC, waiting for that 52 break. I'm in the money on those calls. CCJ, I have some December calls as well, but it is definitely looking nice. So let's see. Last week on Friday, we had basically an ugly session where we just started hitting down and down and down. We were looking at possibly going short as well, but we were hitting support right around 44.50 on the evening futures, so we decided against it. Good thing we didn't, because we did bounce right now. Looking like the shorts are getting out over the weekend. Could be as possible short squeeze. Again, downtrend, if you're looking at E-mini futures, you can see right here is, let me go ahead and expand this, and then we'll take a look at some pre-market movers. If you want to take a look at E-mini futures, you can start taking a look at this downtrend here. We could possibly get to, if we're going just on downtrend, let me go ahead and get this going. Well, we did break that downtrend as well. We broke that downtrend right around that channel, that downward, kind of a downward slope here, or a channel here. We did break down below it, but again, you can see the high around 45.06. If 4,500 does break on E-mini futures, then basically your downward trend is kind of void. But again, we're still in between this channel here. So really nothing has really changed for the most part. It's nice to see a bounce, nice to see some green in your portfolio, obviously, but nothing has really changed. We have OPEX this week. We have CPI this week. We also have unemployment claims. We also have retail sales this week. So a lot of stuff going on. As you know, earnings season is basically already over. I believe the next earnings season would possibly be starting, I think, in October is when we get our next one, or November. Just depends on which stock you're asking about. Let's take a look at some pre-market movers here. This morning, again, on the United States stocks, high volume, nothing that I really trade or even look at. On the Dow, Apple's up 1%. They report iPhone sales, the new iPhones, the iPhone 13, supposedly, I believe a new Apple Watch, and I think a Mac Mini. But again, we'd have to take a look. That's going to be announced tomorrow at 1 p.m. is their actual setup or the actual announcement or the conference, if you want to say. Intel up 0.774%, Nike down 1.22%, Disney up 0.51%, Boeing is up 0.54%, Microsoft 0.58%. So tech getting some love on the Dow. On the S&P, we have Intel up we talked about Intel. We have Ford up 0.51%, Nvidia up 0.84%, American Airlines 1.32%, T-Mobile up 0.22%, and CSX up 0.48%. That's transports. On the Nasdaq, we also have Micron up 0.86% and Tesla up 0.66%, with Broadcom 0.64%. So we're seeing a lot of green here. On the red side, on the Nasdaq, we also have CrowdStrike down 1.15% and Trip.com down 0.84%. On the S&P side, the red ones, 3M, General Mills, and Nike are red currently. So looking at the market as a whole, looking at NASDAQ looks a little more bullish than the S&P, obviously, but you can see the analog still kind of intact. But again, we still need to get to around 15,600, 15,650 on the NASDAQ. That's only 100 more points to really get out of this little bearish funk for the most part. Remember, OPEX is on Friday. That's when all the equity futures and index futures expire for the quarter. So looking at this week, we have triple witching on Friday. Looking at the stock market almanac, the Dow is up 11 of the last 16. And the Monday before September triple witching, the Russell 2000 is down 13 out of the last 21. Again, these are just statistics. Based on this almanac, we should have a bullish day today. But to be fair, they were wrong the last 2 days, as they also had bullish days for Friday and Thursday. So that didn't work. So don't base everything on just some fortune telling. Again, it's just information. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. SQQQ, again, SQQQ is a triple leverage ETF. I would not recommend that to trade or invest in. If you just want to trade QQQ, just buy QQQ. I would not buy SQQQ or TQQQ. Keep that in mind. So again, if you're just looking at Qs, that's a different story. Anything I'm watching today? Yeah, I'm watching AMC this morning. I'm also watching DraftKings this morning, and I'm also watching CCJ. I saw some unusual options activity for December. I have the 25s and the 30s, and I'm in the money on the 25s. Our unusual options activity team on Masterclass and Premium have caught it on CCJ, so very nice. We rolled the AMC calls from last week. We have the 50 calls. We rolled them. We ran out of time, but they were in the money, so we just rolled them to this week. We should be able to catch that if we hit the 2 breaks. We'll definitely get that and get a nice W under our belt. But for the most part, I'm definitely keeping an eye on Apple. Apple is usually a sell the news event when it comes to the iPhone or any kind of conference. So again, let's see what Apple does. Let's see if it does resist that 152.20. That's what I'm looking at this morning. Are you thinking that with taper interest rate hike coming with them dumping in stocks? No, interest rate hike is not going to happen this year. We don't have the employment numbers that the Fed wants. Remember, their mandate, I know that word comes out a lot, is really about employment. Inflation is secondary. Employment, maximum employment is key. So they haven't hit their maximum employment target. The only issue that makes them want to taper is obviously inflation getting a little too hot, which is completely fine and understood because they said it was transitory, but we're going to see our CPI numbers on Tuesday. Remember, that's more important because that's consumer price index. That's what we pay as consumers for goods and services. So again, another hot reading. The expectation is 0.4%. Anything above that, then tapering may be coming sooner than we think. But an interest rate hike is not going to happen in 2021. Good morning, Carlos. What do you think on FB? Let's take a look at Facebook. Facebook is looking mighty nice. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not nice because it looks very good. But looking at it here, let's go ahead and wait for 384. Again, that high, 384.33. If that does break, then we can target possibly the 390s, depending on the date that you're looking for. So it really just is a wait and see game on Facebook, but it does look bullish. Watching any futures? Yeah, I was looking at some E-mini future shorts, but did not fill because we waited for Sunday. Sunday we bounced. So again, we're still within this channel. We could bounce back to around 45.06. If not, we could definitely reject the 50-day right around 44.84 and come back down to 44.60. The really big deal is that we have to open. We need to see exactly what the market is doing when we have liquidity in. Crude oil, big one. Definitely something possible for a futures trade as we're starting to break out on the hourly. If we look at the daily, let's go and take a look at it. We're starting to start making that move. 75, 76 is definitely in focus. If 76 breaks, we have a lot more room to go to 100. So we can go ahead and bring out the monthly chart, or let's go on the weekly chart maximum. I have that mark here, 74.57. I would target 80 first, and then we have a lot of space all the way to around 98 a barrel, which is what I expect for oil to go. The question is, we need that break first on crude. So I am waiting for right around 74.72 on crude oil. If that does break, then I will definitely go long. But it is a double top so far. So again, oil on the future side is the most interesting chart out of all of them, to be honest. Can you explain how SQQ was so high, 20K to 7.5? Let me take a look at it. Give me a second. I'm running a little slow here. Okay, you said SQQQ. Remember, it's a leverage ETF. Let's see. Yeah, remember, QQQ is a short ETF, meaning it is what it used to be. Remember, SQQ is based on a bearish market. So it used to be 104,947 during the financial crisis in 2009. That makes sense. So if we flip this SQQQ, right, let's take a look at TQQ. Big difference here, from 72 cents in 2009 to $145. So again, when it comes to leverage ETFs, it's a different formula on how it's calculated. I prefer not to invest in it. If that's the case, just buy regular QQQ. Again, triple leverage is a whole different ballgame. Riot puts. Let's take a look at Riot. Riot has not been performing as well as a Mara, if that's what you're looking at. But we're looking like we're right at support, right around 29.43-ish. So if we do bounce back there, we can get back to around 36.46 on the daily. If we break down 22.60 would be a great target for Riot. So keep an eye on it. Again, it is all based on Bitcoin and crypto. Good morning. Can you see a correction soon? I don't see a correction soon. Correction is 10%. We're not going to get that by the end of 2021. Worst case scenario, we'll get down 5%. September and October. We're already midway through September. September and October are seasonally the weakest months of the year on the S&P. So S&P has been holding pretty strong for the most part. We have a 5-day losing streak, only down 1.4% on the S&P. That's not exactly a crash, so keep that in mind. November, December are historically and seasonally strong. So again, a 10% fall. If we're looking at it this level here, we're talking about being at 4,079. That's not going to happen, and I'm pretty sure of that. Now in 2022, whole different ballgame. I'm pretty sure we'll have a correction then, but not in 2021. I don't think so. I have a gold mining stock that pays a good dividend. Is it worth holding on to? Well, that's a really good question for yourself. If you like the dividend and you like gold mining, absolutely hold it. If it comes to the point that you don't believe in the company anymore, if you look at your portfolio and you see a stock that you don't believe in, this is where you sell. Again, if you need to convince yourself on why you should hold, you should absolutely sell immediately. You shouldn't have to convince yourself of anything. If it's a great stock, a great company, you're going to hold anyways. Let's see here. How do you expect market will react to tapering? What will be announced? Again, tapering is just the treasury bonds being bought. Should we get some volatility here and there? But again, I think it's kind of priced in. Again, the question is not if they taper. The question is how much will they taper? Again, it's not 100% taper where they're just not going to buy anymore. Tapering is just slowing down the bond buying. They never said we're going to zero and we're not buying anymore. So I think that's where the disconnect is with a lot of traders, is they really think that it's just going to stop immediately, like cold turkey. Like the Fed is smoking cigarettes every day, chain smoking, and then they just quit cold turkey. They're not going to quit cold turkey on the bond buying. Let's see here. SPY thoughts. Let's take a look at SPY. Again, SPY runs just the same as S&P futures. As you can see, we're still within this trend. We can get down as around 430. That's 430, on S&P. But again, right here, 441 is your 50-day moving average. We've had that the last 4 months during OPEX, which is right around the 19th, mid-month. So if we get there again, that's fine for a possible dip buy. We could definitely see get to that tap level. Right now we are, bouncing, obviously. So right now, would I want to do anything here in terms of SPY? No, because the 100-day and the 50-day moving average are right there. If that rejects, if this rejects this 200, that 50-day moving average, then yes, possible short until OPEX would be something to do. How do you, GIVO. I don't know what GIVO is, so I can't give you much information on it. So I'm just going to look at technical here. I don't know much about this company. On the hourly, looks like it's testing the 50. It is a breakout above here, 674. 674 would be your stop if that's what you're looking at for calls. But again, I don't know their volume here on the daily. That doesn't look that appealing to me. Let's take a look at BBIG, Finco Ventures. I've seen this one break out. Obviously looks insane. Again, it's another one of those, Wall Street bets crowd. Again, you can see that it's starting to bounce a little bit. If it breaks above 12, possible, looking for calls, but you can see a trend line starting to form here, kind of a flag. So I'd say a 12 break could be interesting. Let's go ahead and put an alert there at around 1202. If that does break, then you can possibly look for some upside calls. I don't know much about this company. I'm just going based on the charts. Let's take a look at IWM. Let me go ahead and expand this. IWM. Looking at IWM, IWM has been definitely underperforming much of the indices as it was leading the first half of the year. But right here, rejecting the 50-day moving average. I've been burned by IWM. It's been a tough trade. 217.38 is really support. Your next support is right around 219.76 if that's what you're looking for. If the market does fall, IWM is going to be the first one to take the hit. It's going to be the one that's going to be the most affected because interest rates are affected to them because they're smaller companies, smaller cap companies. So you're talking about where cheap loans are more accessible to the smaller companies. They need that capital. IWM may be taking a hit. And on the flip side, a higher interest rate environment would help IWM with the financials because banks are their biggest sector in the ETF. So it's kind of a different one to look at. You only can play technicals here, but it looks like resistance is right around 225.81. It's right now in no man's land. You're welcome. Tesla, let's take a look at it. Tesla looking like 722, which is that first breakout level for Tesla. 722 is your support, 765 is your resistance. You're right in between no man's land, so I wouldn't touch it here. Love the company, love it, but I just wouldn't trade it here. And let's take a look at Alibaba here for Hulk, or HJALK. I mispronounced that. A lot of gaps. Again, remember, this is an ADR. This is an overseas company. I love Alibaba long term. I bought dips. I want to hold it. But as a trader, there is really not much to do here. I mean, if you break 172.50, possibly. If you start breaking down below 162.50, possibly to target 160s. But the risk reward there is not that great. We are seeing a downtrend on Alibaba. Again, they're extremely profitable. That's why I want to own it. But to trade it, it's going to be a tough tape to do it because you're not seeing much of a completed trend short term. It's a lot of rips and a lot of dips, and that can be very frustrating as a trader. So I would not touch Alibaba as a trade as of right now. Okay, guys, now we're pushing here 233 points in the Dow, Nasdaq up 100 points. So let's see if it does break the 50-day moving average on E-mini futures. We'll keep you up to date on Twitter. As always, have a great rest of your day. G.A.R Capital FX.com is the website. Thank you for joining me in the morning note today and every day. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. And what a great game from Cristiano Ronaldo on Saturday. Manchester United beating Newcastle. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. It was really fun. Tomorrow, Champions League. Can't wait to watch more soccer, more football. What a great time to be alive. I love the fall. We'll catch you guys later. Enjoy yourselves.